Hello again, YouTube. Gabo here, and I'm ready for part 2 of my tutorial on how to set up a mute boot on a Mac machine. Okay, so let's see here and make a quick review of what we discussed on part 1, which was a uh, two questions on I discussed with you about what is this video for and why should we multi-boot or something like that. Okay, so for this part 2, and I must warn you, I redid part 1 and part 2 because that was looking like crap on my perspective. And if you don't know, I'm sitting on my MacBook Pro right now, and since it is very outdated and not very strong, and I'm using my iChat camera to put me on the screen, and I'm recording my screen with QuickTime. And since my CPU fan can get very loud, I will try to make more cuts in this video, and hoping that it don't get very loud. Okay, so that's it. Let's begin here with part 2. And now I'm gonna make you some introduction on partition tables, bootloaders, and file systems. And if you already know a little about that, you can safely skip this part and go right to part 3. But if you don't know anything about that, you should really pay attention now and follow my guide, my tutorial, because it's very important for you to understand what are those concepts and how they will play around while we're doing the kind of setup. Okay, so I guess all you need to know by now is that there are two types of layouts or partition tables, and you can think as partition tables as indexes on a book. So when you open your book and you see the index, and it gives you information about chapters and pages and where they are. So partition table is something like that. Okay, so and tells the system at the startup of your computer where to find the partitions and the HDDs and stuff like that. Okay, so uh, MBR stands for Master Boot Record, and it's an older type of layout, and holds up to only 4 primary partitions, and that's a little low if we are going to make some kind of setup with 7 or more OSs, because we can install each OS on just one primary partition, and if you want more, you're probably going to want more primary partitions too. So as you can see, each partition can be repartitioned into 7 or 8 more parts, but these will be logical partitions and not primary partitions. Well, that's not very important for us right now. And there is to GUID partition table, which is the full name of GPT, and GUID stands for Globally Unique Identifier. So that's what it is, and you don't need to mind that, but you need to know that it holds up to 128 primary partitions. Okay, so that's what we want actually, and you need to know that we probably will be using both, okay? Because if we are willing to, as I planned here out, and if we are willing to put a Windows XP or other type of BIOS mode built-in OS, we will be probably using both master boot record and GUID partition table, okay? So if you don't know that yet, you can uh, fire up your disk utility and confirm that we have actually a GUID partition table as our map scheme, a partition map scheme, and that's already in there when you install your Mac or when, right from the box, okay, right out of the box. That's how it comes to you. And but you have to know that for this setup, if you are willing to have something like that, or to say something with Windows XP which boot on BIOS mode, or any other OSs booting on BIOS mode, uh, you should probably grab a little information about master boot record, because we'll be using both master boot record and the GPT, okay, partition schemes, because since Windows XP can only see and understand this type of boot mode and partition scheme. For now, all you need to know is that we'll be using both, okay? So if you want, you can go online and look up for GUID partition table and master boot record on the Wikipedia. And well, now we'll be talking about, where is my edit? Okay, we'll be talking about EFI boot mode and BIOS boot mode. Okay, so what is EFI boot mode and BIOS boot mode? I tell you, BIOS boot mode stands for basic input output system. Okay, so this is the system or the execution processes that starts up with the startup of your machine. Okay, so this is the system that tells your your startup system where to look for OSs, where to look for partitions, okay, and actually boots everything, okay. And well, EFI is something close to it, but it's a more advanced system, which stands for extensible firmware interface. Okay, so please do not mix up unified EFI and EFI, because you have to know that your Mac probably have a version 1.7 of EFI, okay, and probably if you have a newer a new mobile on some PC you have, probably this mobile has both BIOS mode and UEFI mode, boot modes, okay. But your Mac out of the box normally have boots up within a EFI boot mode, and you can make it boot on BIOS, on a simulated BIOS environment for the boot of Windows XP or another BIOS OS. But actually your Mac OS X is booting up on within a EFI boot mode. Okay, so that's my MacBook Pro. My 5.5 MacBook Pro is booting in a 1.7 version of EFI, but if you have a newer Mac like a Lion running Mac or a later than 2011 2012, probably you have a newer version and an up-to-date version of EFI too. So, but don't mind that very much because the versions, I guess, it doesn't have many difference between them, and the main difference you want to know here is that the BIOS mode and the EFI mode are very different, and if you are willing to install a system such as Ubuntu, you'll probably want to install Ubuntu in EFI mode and choose an ISO or image that has EFI mode, because if you don't, you will have a stack of several BIOS mode OSs booting, and you probably don't want that because it's more difficult for Refine to manage and actually you to manage. And probably if you have a Windows XP installation, you will have to base it on the NBR, and it will only boot on from the NBR and on BIOS mode, and this will take up one spot and on your NBR, and you have only four. Okay, so think ahead of on it and choose EFI booting uh, distros for your setup. Okay, so that's it from this topic, and we're going to talk about a little about file systems now. And well, actually, all you have to know is that uh, the many OSs have different file systems, which means that uh, each OS has a particular mode of filing their files, something like that. And well, Mac uses the HFS, which stands for HFS Plus, actually, which stands for a hierarchical file system. And I don't know squat what that means, but it's a a very appropriate for Mac, and Mac can uh, you can install drivers to read and write on NTFS file systems, which are used by Windows. Uh, and you can actually read and write on Windows file systems, like you can see on mine here. I have a on my Windows partition, you can see that I can make folders and delete them and stuff, and that's that this don't work that do not work out of the box. Okay, that's because I have some drivers here for this stuff, and are the drivers. I'm gonna put this in a link. I don't know where, but you'll be going to use the Fuse OS X drive, which will let you fuse with other types of file systems within your Mac installation, and you will be using Fuse Extend 2 and NTFS, okay, 3G, which those drives are free and free shared drives, no, freeware drives, sorry, and you can always pay for some drives, but this one, those one actually uh, do their jobs pretty great, and that's it. Uh, well, so like I said, HFS is the file system for macOS, and NTFS is the file system for Windows, and we have yet extended or a fourth extended file system, which is the fourth version of extended file system, which is the one Linux is using. It's a journalet or journaling file system like HFS, like the Mac one. And again, I don't know a squat about how it works. You can read on this page of wiki, and if you want to know, but be aware that each type of OS use a particular type of file system, and not everyone will read and write properly in the order, and that's true for Windows. XP, actually, I don't know 7 because I never tried, but XP can't write on Mac OS file system, or even look for and search and know that uh, Linux file systems exists. So you will be you can use some proprietary drives, some non-free drives within Windows to read Mac partitions, but probably you don't want that very much. Okay, so what am I saying with this is, uh, like I said, I have a sharing data partition, and that one is formatted like a, oh crap, my wireless mouse is so creeping when I'm using internet. Okay, so there she is, my data partition. You can see it has a uh, uh, up to 250, 60 actually, 60 gigabytes, and it's formatted as macOS extended. Okay, so HFS plus. What this actually means is that if you're willing to have a faster data sharing and writing, you'll be willing to format your data partition as HFS, okay, because that's more compatible with Mac OS X, and probably if you format it is as a Windows NT file system, uh, you'll be having a more compatible within all your systems, but you'll be just as cool and just as in a good position if you format it as HFS, and you'll be having a faster writing, reading, and sharing. Okay, so that was part 2. And if you're willing to get any more information about the topics we discussed in part 2, you can go online and look on Wikipedia or ArchWiki or Ubuntu community or any other documentation source you want. Okay, and well, that's it, part 2, and let's jump on part 3. Bye.